In the frozen, wind-swept reaches of Antarctica, life survives against unimaginable odds. Beneath miles of ice and in waters colder than any other ocean on Earth, a hidden world thrives, a realm where tiny krill fuel colossal whales, where ghostly icefish glide silently beneath the surface, and where massive squids hunt in total darkness. This is a land of extremes, a place where evolution has sculpted life in ways the rest of the planet cannot comprehend. Today, we journey into this icy frontier, uncovering the secrets of its slow, patient, and astonishingly resilient ecosystem. From the tiniest microscopic algae to the giants of the deep, every creature has a story shaped by survival, adaptation, and the relentless cold. Join us as we explore Antarctica's frozen giants, witness their battles, and uncover the lessons they hold for life on our warming planet. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more incredible discoveries. Beneath the endless expanse of Antarctic ice, a world of unimaginable cold and silence stretches in all directions. Here, the sun disappears for months at a time, leaving the waters in darkness so profound it seems absolute. Yet life endures. Against all odds, microscopic organisms cling to existence, suspended within a frozen lattice that is both prison and sanctuary. Sea ice forms slowly in the autumn, trapping motile algae in its crystalline grasp. These tiny, single-celled architects, encased in intricate silica shells, are immobilized by the sub-zero temperatures. And yet, they are not dead. They are waiting. Their life temporarily paused, dormant, but ready. Thread-like veins of super-salty liquid wind through the ice, tiny channels where nutrients and life-sustaining brine persist. In this hidden world, the microscopic inhabitants survive the polar night, imperceptibly patient, awaiting the return of sunlight. As winter gives way to spring, the faintest rays of the sun pierce through meters of ice, barely enough light to awaken the dormant algae. Yet in this dim, blue-green twilight, photosynthesis begins, igniting a silent explosion of life. The ice beneath the waves transforms into a luminous, inverted garden, dripping with energy that will sustain the creatures of the Antarctic for months. This is the first pulse in a chain of life that stretches from the tiniest cell to the largest animal on the planet. In these icy, frigid waters, survival is a delicate balance, a choreography of adaptation and patience. The algae bloom becomes the foundation of the food web, invisible to the naked eye yet colossal in its importance. This frozen frontier is not merely a backdrop, it is a crucible. Every organism within it is forged by the extremes, sculpted by the pressures of darkness, cold, and isolation. Here, life does not rush. Growth is measured in patience, in metabolic rhythms that tick far slower than in warmer waters. The Antarctic is a laboratory of evolutionary ingenuity, where energy is scarce, yet every drop counts, and where the simplest forms of life sustain the mightiest of giants. To witness this world is to confront the quiet power of persistence. Life persists where we least expect it, thriving in extremes that would crush most other organisms. The frozen boundary of life is not empty. It is teeming with silent, patient activity, a realm where survival is both a miracle and a certainty. And it is here, under the ice, in this dim, otherworldly glow, that the stage is set for the astonishing drama of the Antarctic's giants, a story written in the slow, unyielding rhythm of cold, darkness, and resilience. In the vast, icebound expanses of the Antarctic, life has taken an extraordinary path. Here, where the sun hovers at the horizon for months and the waters hover just above freezing, nature has nurtured giants. This is a realm where the ordinary rules of size and metabolism bend under the pressures of extreme cold, isolation, and abundant oxygen. The Antarctic is not merely a frozen wasteland, it is a cradle, a nursery for some of the largest, most improbable animals on the planet. The secret lies in the water itself. Antarctic seas are supersaturated with oxygen, a gift of the cold that allows life to grow larger, move slower, and thrive in a world that would otherwise be inhospitable. In these sub-zero waters, creatures experience a paradox. The cold slows metabolism, reducing energy needs, yet the oxygen-rich environment ensures that even massive bodies receive enough life-sustaining fuel. It is here, in this alien stillness, that evolution experiments with form and function on a scale rarely seen elsewhere on Earth. From the tiniest microscopic algae that cling to life beneath the ice, energy pulses upward through the ecosystem, feeding krill swarms that stretch for kilometers. These small shrimp-like crustaceans are the lifeblood of this frozen world, and they, in turn, sustain creatures of staggering size. Penguins, seals, and fish all depend upon them, but none so profoundly as the ocean's giants. Here, evolution has produced the blue whale, the largest animal to have ever existed, a living testament to the Antarctic's generous, paradoxical bounty. In this environment, an animal can reach lengths exceeding 100 feet, a mass greater than 150 tons, yet subsists solely on tiny krill, filtered with astonishing efficiency. But gigantism is not limited to the surface. In the abyssal depths, slow-moving, cold-blooded predators have evolved into formidable forms. Ice. Fish, translucent and bloodless, drift silently under the ice, perfectly adapted to thrive where oxygen is abundant, but energy is scarce. Even in the crushing darkness of the deep, colossal squids navigate with precision, their immense tentacles and armored hooks ensuring that no prey escapes their grasp. The Antarctic's extremes, its freezing waters, its seasonal feast, its isolation, have shaped life into something breathtakingly unique. Each organism, from the smallest cell to the mightiest whale, bears the mark of this extraordinary environment. Evolution has been given time, patience, and a stable stage upon which to craft forms that defy expectations. In these waters, size is no handicap. It is a survival strategy, a way to dominate the food-rich, predator-sparse world that few other regions on Earth can offer. To enter the Antarctic is to witness a kingdom of extremes, a nursery for life in its most improbable, grandest forms. It is here, in the frozen, oxygen-rich seas, that Earth's largest creatures find their home, a testament to the power of environment to shape the extraordinary. The Antarctic does not merely support life. It celebrates it in grand, colossal, and unforgettable ways. Beneath the vast, frozen expanse of the Antarctic, life exists in a form almost imperceptible to the human eye. It is a kingdom built on the smallest and most fragile foundations, microscopic algae. These single-celled architects, encased in delicate silica shells, inhabit a world of extreme cold and darkness, thriving in conditions that would annihilate most other forms of life. They are the invisible engineers of the Antarctic ecosystem, patiently enduring the long, sunless winter trapped within the ice. As autumn grips the continent and the sea begins to freeze, countless algae drift in the surface waters, tiny motes suspended in the cold. When ice crystals interlock, these organisms are trapped within the frozen lattice, not dead but dormant. They lie suspended in a network of microscopic liquid veins, tiny channels of salty brine threading through the ice, where life clings in suspended animation. For months, these microscopic cells endure a profound darkness, waiting for the return of the sun. And then, as spring approaches, light begins to seep through the meters of ice and snow, faint and pale, but enough to awaken the algae from their long dormancy. In these nutrient-rich brine pockets, the first photons of Antarctic sunlight trigger photosynthesis. What was once a frozen, silent expanse becomes alive in a quiet, almost imperceptible explosion. The algae bloom, multiplying with astonishing speed. Their green-blue glow under the ice transforms the frozen undersurface into a living garden, a suspended oasis of productivity in an otherwise harsh and unforgiving landscape. This humble microcosm, invisible to the casual observer, is the foundation of one of the richest and most complex food webs on Earth. It fuels the Antarctic krill, the tiny shrimp-like crustaceans whose swarms are the very lifeblood of the Southern Ocean. Without these single-celled pioneers, there would be no krill, no feeding grounds for penguins, seals, or the visiting whales. The algae beneath the ice are not just producers of energy, they are the pulse of the Antarctic, the quiet engines that convert sunlight into sustenance, driving a cascade of life in one of the planet's most extreme environments. The story of Antarctic algae is a story of resilience and patience. It is a testament to life's ability to endure, to wait, and to explode into abundance when conditions allow. Though invisible to most, these tiny cells wield a power that dwarfs their size, sustaining entire species and, ultimately, shaping the ecology of a continent. Beneath the frozen surface, in the stillness and silence, life waits, hidden, delicate, yet profoundly essential, proving that even in the coldest, darkest corners of the world, the spark of life is never truly extinguished. As the relentless Antarctic winter begins to loosen its grip, the sun creeps cautiously above the horizon. Its light, pale and diffused, filters through meters of ice and snow, too weak to warm the land, too dim to nurture most plants. Yet for the microscopic algae trapped beneath the frozen expanse, it is a signal of life, a call to awaken from months of dormancy. The first sunlight of spring is a whisper, but it carries the promise of transformation. Beneath the ice, within the nutrient-rich brine channels, the algae stir. For months they have existed in suspended animation, frozen in crystalline lattices, held in stasis by the darkness and cold. Now, even the faintest glimmer of light is enough to ignite their metabolism. Photosynthesis begins, slow at first, a delicate flicker of activity. But in the peculiar alchemy of the Antarctic spring, the spark grows quickly. The algae divide, multiply, and surge with astonishing speed, turning what was a muted, icy world into a vibrant, green-blue undersea forest. This is the spring bloom explosion, a biological symphony unfolding beneath the ice. The frozen undersurface transforms into a hanging garden, a vast inverted meadow of microscopic life. Every droplet of brine swells with energy, every crevice glimmers with the beginnings of abundance. The bloom is silent yet powerful, a hidden tempest of creation that will ripple through the entire Antarctic food web. It is a feast laid out in secret, invisible to the casual observer, but indispensable to the survival of countless creatures. The algae are tiny, almost insignificant individually, but collectively they are a force of nature. They produce oils and proteins in staggering concentrations, a banquet suspended beneath the ice. Swarms of krill, drawn to this feast, begin to graze. Each krill, no larger than a fingernail, scrapes the algae from the underside of the ice. Littering the bloom with delicate, basket-like legs, the energy captured by these microscopic plants is transferred into movement, growth and life, fueling the astonishing abundance of Antarctic giants, the fish, penguins, seals, and eventually the summer-visiting whales. The bloom itself is ephemeral, a fleeting window of explosive productivity. Within weeks, the algae reach peak density, their colors painting the icy seascape with ghostly blues and greens. The krill feed voraciously, the first wave of life in the spring pulse, and the entire ecosystem awakens from the long polar night. Yet the bloom is fragile, a delicate pulse synchronized with the rhythm of the sun and the sea. One misstep, one shift in ice or temperature, and this hidden banquet could vanish, leaving the dependent life below scrambling for survival. The spring bloom explosion is more than a biological event. It is a testament to patience, resilience, and the cyclical perfection of the Antarctic environment. From the faintest flicker of sunlight emerges life on a scale that humbles even the largest creatures. In this brief, luminous season, the frozen world beneath the ice becomes a garden of life, a quiet but essential heart beating beneath the most extreme conditions on Earth. Here, Life is at once fragile and unstoppable, a celebration of survival against the odds. Beneath the frozen surface of the Antarctic Sea, the first signs of spring life are not the grand predators that capture our imagination, but the humble, translucent shrimp-like creatures known as krill. Individually, a single Antarctic krill is delicate, almost unremarkable, a few centimeters of fragile exoskeleton, a creature whose body seems barely substantial enough to contain life. But the true marvel lies not in the individual, but in the staggering collective. As the algae beneath the ice awaken, their nutrients become a feast for the krill. They swarm, millions upon millions, in a living tide that stretches for kilometers. The ocean, once an empty expanse of icy blue, transforms into a pinkish, shimmering river of life. Each krill filters the algae-laden water through delicate, basket-like legs, grazing silently in the cold, oxygen-rich currents. What is microscopic becomes monumental. What seems insignificant alone becomes a superorganism in scale and purpose. These swarms are the heartbeat of the Antarctic. Every predator, from the ghostly ice fish to the sleek penguins gliding above the surface, depends on this small crustacean. The krill are the engines of life, the living currency of energy in this extreme environment. They convert sunlight captured by invisible algae into motion, into flesh, into the lifeblood of every creature that has adapted to this frozen world. Without them, the web of life here would collapse. The scale of krill abundance is breathtaking. Swarms can stretch tens of kilometers long, hundreds of meters deep, and contain trillions of individuals. Viewed from above, the ocean becomes a living, undulating cloud of pink and red, a color so vast it could almost be seen from space. Each movement of this superorganism ripples through the Antarctic waters, a coordinated pulse of life that fuels the colossal creatures of the ocean. Among their consumers are penguins, seals, and fish, each exploiting the krill in their own way. But perhaps the most dramatic dependence is that of the whales. Blue whales, the largest animals to ever live on Earth, time their migrations to coincide with the krill bloom. Each day, a single whale can consume several tons of these tiny crustaceans, opening its immense pleated throat to engulf water thick with krill, then filtering it through baleen plates to trap the feast within. The krill sustain the giants, and in doing so, demonstrate the extraordinary efficiency and abundance of the Antarctic ecosystem. Yet even this tiny creature is a marvel of adaptation. In the freezing, dark, and turbulent waters of the Southern Ocean, krill survive, reproduce, and maintain the balance of life. Their life cycle is synchronized with the rhythm of the seasons, their survival intertwined with the ice, the algae, and the pulses of sunlight that reach even the coldest depths. In the grand theater of the Antarctic, the krill may seem small, invisible to the casual eye, but they are the invisible architects of life, the central engine that drives one of the most unique and productive ecosystems on Earth. They are the heart of the Antarctic, pumping energy through the frozen veins of the ocean, sustaining a kingdom of giants with their quiet, unassuming abundance. In the frigid, cobalt waters of the Antarctic, life unfolds on a scale almost impossible to comprehend. Here, beneath the ice and the faint shimmer of spring sunlight, trillions of Antarctic krill move as one. Each individual is small, fragile, almost invisible, yet collectively they form vast swarms, living rivers of pink that pulse and flow with a rhythm dictated by the ocean itself. This is life in motion, a spectacular invisible engine driving the entire Southern Ocean ecosystem. The super swarms stretch for kilometers, their numbers so dense that the water appears to thicken with them. From the surface to depths of hundreds of meters, these clouds undulate, shimmering with iridescence, a living carpet that drifts with the currents. The swarms are not random. There is coordination, a silent choreography born of instinct, of survival, of millions of years of evolution in this extreme environment. Each krill filters the water. Each tiny movement amplifies the momentum of the collective. They are both the prey and the infrastructure of life itself, the first link in a chain that sustains giants. Predators of every size depend on these swarms. The slender, pale icefish glide beneath the ice, mouths open to harvest the bounty. Penguins dive from above, piercing the swarms with precision, while seals twist and turn, chasing the invisible trails through the water. Each predator, from the smallest fish to the largest whale, interprets the krill swarm as a map of energy, a corridor of survival. It is a feast as ephemeral as it is abundant, a pulse of life that synchronizes with the rhythms of the ocean and the cycles of the sun. The scale is breathtaking. A single swarm can stretch tens of kilometers across, its depth hundreds of meters, its biomass exceeding that of all humans combined. To see it from above is to witness the ocean itself transformed into a living organism. A pulsating artery of energy carrying the sun's light, captured by invisible algae, upward through trillions of small moving bodies. It is a network of survival, a living, breathing monument to the power of numbers. Yet the true marvel lies in the resilience of the krill. They endure sub-zero waters, survive months of darkness beneath the ice, and emerge each spring to repeat this astonishing migration. The swarms are the heartbeat of the Antarctic, a rhythm that drives every predator and fuels every predator's predator. Without them, the ecosystem would collapse, and the giants of the sea, the whales, the seals, the penguins, would vanish into the icy void. In this cold, silent world, the krill are both invisible and omnipresent, small, yet monumental. They are life in its purest, most efficient form, a vast, moving testament to cooperation, adaptation, and abundance. Trillions of individuals acting in unison, sustaining a kingdom of giants. This is the Antarctic's secret, the hidden engine of its productivity. The ultimate demonstration that in numbers, even the smallest creatures can wield power greater than anything we imagine. Beneath the frozen canopy of the Antarctic, where sunlight barely penetrates the ice, a ghostly predator glides through the frigid waters. Pale, almost translucent, with a body that seems sculpted from the ice itself, the Antarctic icefish is a paradox of life. It possesses a heart, a circulatory system, complex organs, yet it carries no hemoglobin. No red blood cells course through its veins. Its blood is clear, watery, a liquid so strange that it challenges every assumption about what a vertebrate must be to survive. In most oceans, this absence would be fatal. Hemoglobin, the iron-based protein that binds and transports oxygen, is the cornerstone of vertebrate life. Without it, muscles fail, brains shut down, and hearts stop. Yet here, in the cold, oxygen-saturated waters of the Southern Ocean, nature has rewritten the rules. Oxygen dissolves passively in the ice-cold seawater, abundant enough to permeate every tissue, to sustain a predator as large and active as the icefish. Its heart has grown in size and strength, pumping vast volumes of this clear plasma to carry oxygen to every extremity. Its blood vessels are wider, resistance minimal, and its thin, scaleless skin may even absorb additional oxygen directly from the water. The icefish moves with a spectral grace beneath the ice, hunting krill and small fish. In its silent world, metabolism is slow, deliberate, matched perfectly to the rhythm of the cold. It does not rush. It does not chase with the frantic energy of a tropical predator. Every movement is efficient, every strike calculated. Its existence is a living testament to adaptation, a creature that has evolved beyond the need for what we consider essential, red blood. This extraordinary adaptation is not merely a curiosity. It is a window into the Antarctic ecosystem itself. Life here is measured in patience and precision, shaped by extremes of cold, the isolation, and oxygen abundance. The icefish's bloodless body is a manifestation of the environment's generosity, a luxury that allows complexity to persist in the most unforgiving of places. Its very survival is a tribute to the subtle chemistry of the Southern Ocean, a biological experiment conducted over millions of years. In this frozen world, the icefish is both predator and marvel. It exemplifies the strange elegance of the Antarctic, where life bends the rules, where the improbable becomes reality. Here, in the pale and silent depths, it reminds us that evolution does not follow human logic. It follows the rhythm of its environment, carving solutions that can seem impossible to the outside observer. The icefish is the ghost of the Antarctic, a creature whose heart beats slowly in a liquid world that flows richer than blood itself. It is a predator, a survivor, and a profound demonstration of life's adaptability. In its clear veins, the story of the Antarctic is written, a world of extremes, of patience, and of silent, breathtaking ingenuity. In the icy, dim waters beneath Antarctica's vast sheets of sea ice, evolution has written one of its most astonishing stories. Here, in a world of relentless cold and extraordinary oxygen abundance, vertebrates have transcended a fundamental biological principle, the necessity of red blood. The Antarctic icefish, a ghostly pale predator gliding through the sub-zero currents, is living proof that life can thrive even when stripped of what we have long considered essential. Across the globe, red blood cells and hemoglobin are the lifeblood of vertebrates. They are the molecular trucks, tirelessly transporting oxygen from gills to tissues, powering muscles, brains, and hearts. Yet in the Antarctic, the rules are rewritten. The frigid waters, saturated with dissolved oxygen, provide an environment so rich that the icefish no longer requires these chemical couriers. Oxygen seeps passively into the fish's thin, scaleless skin, diffuses directly into its tissues, and fuels a slow, deliberate metabolism perfectly matched to the cold. This evolutionary deletion, the loss of hemoglobin, is not a flaw. It is a triumph of adaptation. The icefish carries no red blood, no iron-rich molecules, no active transport mechanisms, and yet it survives, hunts, and thrives. Its heart has grown larger and more powerful, pumping high volumes of clear plasma to ensure every cell receives the life-giving oxygen. Its vessels are wider, minimizing resistance, and its metabolism, though slow by tropical standards, is perfectly sufficient in this oxygen-saturated sanctuary. Evolution has, in essence, removed what is unnecessary, shedding energy-expensive machinery in favor of simplicity. What might seem a vulnerability in other seas becomes an advantage here. The icefish is not bound by the conventional limitations of vertebrate life. It is a creature sculpted entirely by its environment, an emblem of the Antarctic's profound capacity for biological creativity. The story of evolution beyond blood is also a testament to isolation. For over 30 million years, the Southern Ocean has remained a thermal fortress, its circumpolar currents and frigid temperatures preserving a stable, extreme environment. In this laboratory of the cold, vertebrates were free to experiment with life, free to abandon traditional constraints and explore radical solutions. The icefish is the product of this evolutionary freedom, a living paradox, a pale predator whose survival is inseparable from the chemistry of its icy home. Here, in the silent, dimly lit waters of the Antarctic, evolution has shown that life does not adhere to human assumptions. It bends, adapts, and sometimes discards even the most fundamental rules. In the clear veins of the icefish flows a story of ingenuity, patience, and the extraordinary consequences of extreme isolation. The icefish does not simply exist. It embodies the Antarctic itself, cold, patient, and unimaginably inventive. Beneath the frozen Antarctic expanse, in the narrow, shadowed world of sea ice, a ghostly predator moves with deliberate, spectral grace. The icefish, pale and nearly translucent, glides silently through the dark, oxygen-rich waters, a creature perfectly adapted to the extreme cold. Its body is a living paradox, fragile yet efficient, slow yet precise, a predator that hunts without the usual arsenal of speed or blood-red power. In these frozen waters, life moves slowly. The icefish is a master of patience. Its nearly invisible form blends seamlessly with the faint blue-green glow of the under-ice world, where sunlight barely penetrates and only the faintest shimmer reflects from the frozen brine channels. Suspended in this near-motionless realm, the icefish stalks its prey, the Antarctic krill, the beating heart of the Southern Ocean's food web. With each careful, calculated flick of its fins, it approaches without disturbing the delicate currents, relying on stealth rather than speed. The icefish is a product of the extreme environment it inhabits. Its bloodless existence, so unthinkable in warmer seas, is entirely viable here. The oxygen-rich water seeps directly into its tissues, allowing its ghostly frame to sustain itself in a metabolic slow motion perfectly matched to the cold. Its thin skin, scaleless and almost ethereal, is a living conduit, channeling life from the surrounding ocean. Its gills, pale and almost invisible, extract every possible molecule of oxygen from the icy water, feeding muscles that operate with an economy of motion that seems alien to warm-blooded hunters. As it hunts, the icefish embodies quiet efficiency. It does not chase. It does not lunge. Instead, it drifts, coasting through a frozen garden of algae and brine channels, scanning for the subtle shimmer of krill swarms below the ice. When it finds its target, the attack is swift. Yet understated, a delicate sweep of the mouth and the prey is captured, a momentary flash in a world defined by stillness. In this realm of extremes, the icefish is both predator and survivor, a creature that demonstrates life's ability to flourish even in what seems impossible. It moves through a landscape shaped by darkness, cold, and ice, a silent hunter in a kingdom where the rules of biology are rewritten. Here, speed is unnecessary, and stealth, patience, and efficiency reign supreme. The icefish reminds us that the Antarctic is a world of contradictions, harsh yet fertile, slow yet vibrant, ghostly yet alive. It is a testament to the ingenuity of evolution, a creature that thrives where most life would perish, silently maintaining its place in the complex, frigid web of Antarctic life. Beneath the ice, in this calm and eternal cold, the ghostly hunters patrol their ancient realm, the living embodiment of survival against all odds. As the Antarctic summer sun circles endlessly above the ice, a new energy floods the ocean. Beneath the glittering surface, the krill swarms pulse like living rivers of pink, a vast, concentrated feast suspended in the cold water. And with this ephemeral abundance arrives the warm-blooded visitors, giants from distant oceans, drawn to the Southern Ocean's seasonal banquet. Whales, the great mammalian travelers, journey thousands of kilometers to exploit this rich and fleeting resource. Unlike the slow, cold-adapted denizens of these waters, the whales are engines of relentless energy. Their hearts pump with a furious tempo, their muscles burn with metabolic fire, and their senses are tuned to detect the densest concentrations of krill. Each movement is a calculated exertion of raw power. As they approach, the surface shimmers with the flash of their massive bodies, fins slicing through the water, creating currents that funnel the tiny crustaceans toward their enormous mouths. Blue whales, the largest animals ever to inhabit the planet, epitomize this paradoxical invasion. Their bodies, more than 30 meters long and weighing nearly 200 tons, are built for consuming unimaginable amounts of krill. Every day, each whale must ingest several tons of these tiny creatures to fuel its immense metabolism. With a single lunge, their pleated throats expand like colossal parachutes, engulfing massive volumes of krill-laden water. Then, with an elegant flick of the tongue, they force the water out through baleen plates, retaining the dense protein-rich prey within, a living harvest from the icy sea. These giants are both hunters and visitors, moving through a world otherwise dominated by slow, methodical, cold-blooded life. They do not linger year-round. The Antarctic is merely a seasonal playground, a summer kitchen where energy and opportunity converge. Yet in this brief window, tumbos, Hay wield their incredible size and metabolic intensity to reshape the very ocean around them. Their feeding is violent and transformative, a rapid, high-energy assault on the krill superswarms, contrasting sharply with the delicate efficiency of icefish and other permanent residents. The whale's arrival highlights the Antarctic's duality, a realm of slow, patient evolution, punctuated by bursts of explosive energy. The krill superswarms, the slow-growing algae beneath the ice, and the ghostly icefish form the stable, enduring framework. Into this framework, the warm-blooded visitors inject a rhythm of urgency, speed, and immense consumption, a reminder that even in the coldest, slowest places, life finds a way to accelerate, to burn brightly and fleetingly. Watching these magnificent creatures feed is to witness a symphony of scale, power, and precision. Each whale, a mobile ecosystem in itself, moves as part of a larger chorus, shaping the flow of energy in a frozen world. Here, in the relentless summer sun and the nutrient-dense Antarctic waters, the warm-blooded visitors reign, if only briefly, as titans of speed, strength, and unbridled appetite. In the endless summer light of the Antarctic, a single shadow moves through the shimmering krill-laden waters, a moving cathedral of immense power and purpose. The blue whale, the largest animal to ever walk or swim on Earth, glides with serene authority, a living monument to the ocean's extraordinary productivity. Its colossal body, stretching over 30 meters from snout to fluke, displaces thousands of tons of water with each deliberate stroke, yet it moves with a grace that belies its sheer scale. This is no leisurely passage. The blue whale's existence, measured in the rhythm of consumption, is a daily testament to survival on a monumental scale. Each day, an adult must consume several tons of Antarctic krill to sustain the furnace of its metabolism. And the krill are everywhere, a dense, swirling pink cloud beneath the ice and across open waters, forming a living banquet of extraordinary abundance. The whale approaches, mouth agape, the pleated grooves of its throat expanding like a massive parachute, creating a vacuum that engulfs an immense volume of water and prey. With a single gulp, the water and krill surge into the oral cavity, and the whale's tongue begins a slow, titanic press, forcing the water out through its baleen plates. Trapped inside is the concentrated harvest of millions of tiny crustaceans, a dense, protein-rich feast that fuels the giant's enormous heart and muscles. It is a dance of engineering and instinct perfected over millions of years, the whale as predator, the krill as both sustenance and ecosystem engine. Observing a feeding blue whale is witnessing the ocean's productivity made tangible. In one gulp, it consumes more than a human could imagine in a month. Its actions create waves and currents, subtly shaping the movements of the krill swarms, influencing other predators, and redistributing energy through the frozen waters. And yet, for all its size, the whale is part of a larger rhythm, a seasonal visitor that depends on the delicate timing of the Antarctic bloom. The Antarctic summer is a fleeting window of abundance. When the sun begins its descent, the krill swarms thin, the waters grow colder, and the whales prepare for their epic migrations north to warmer breeding grounds. In this brief window, however, their feeding transforms the invisible productivity of the sea into tangible life. Each massive mouthful is a celebration of survival, a demonstration of how even the largest creatures on Earth are bound to the smallest, most prolific organisms of the ocean. In the silent expanse of the Southern Ocean, the blue whale is both awe-inspiring and humble, a gentle giant whose very existence measures the ocean's generosity. Here, in the frozen, nutrient-rich waters of the Antarctic, we see life at its most extreme, its most abundant, and its most magnificent, a colossal reminder that the rhythm of nature is written not just in seconds, but in tons of living, breathing energy. Beneath the ice-choked surface of the Southern Ocean, where sunlight never penetrates, the water turns from a deep blue to a black so complete it seems infinite. In this eternal twilight, a phantom stirs, the colossal squid, Mesonicoteuthis hamiltoni, a creature of unimaginable bulk and silent power, glides through the abyss, a living weapon perfected by millions of years of Antarctic isolation. Its body is a short, thick mantle of pure muscle, streamlined yet terrifyingly robust. 8 arms, each lined with sharp, swiveling hooks, and 2 massive feeding tentacles extend from its central body like the arms of a dark leviathan. Each hook is a small, living grappling device, capable of piercing and holding even the strongest prey, while the tentacles operate as long-range kill tools, striking with explosive speed and dragging their target toward the armored embrace of the central arms. At the center lies the ultimate predator's tool, a black, parrot-like beak, capable of slicing flesh, cartilage, and bone with terrifying efficiency. The colossal squid's size alone is staggering. Specimens pulled from the abyss hint at a weight of up to 700 kilograms and lengths surpassing 10 meters. Unlike its distant cousin, the giant squid, which relies on length and swiftness, the colossal squid is built for sheer power, a tank of flesh and muscle, a predator designed to dominate the deep and unforgiving Antarctic waters. Yet its true marvel lies not only in its weaponry, but in its senses. Its eyes are immense, basketball-sized orbs capable of detecting the faintest flickers of bioluminescent light in the abyss. In the pitch-black world where most creatures exist as ghosts, these eyes transform the squid into a hunter of unparalleled precision. It can track the glowing outline of a toothfish, or the disturbance caused by swarming krill hundreds of meters away, calculating distance A, and movement in a world without sound, without sun. Every movement of this deep-sea leviathan is measured and purposeful. Its muscular mantle pulses slowly, propelling it through dense, near-freezing water with a ghostly grace. It hunts in silence, emerging from the darkness only to strike with the combined might of tentacles, hooks, and beak. Every encounter is a duel of life and death, each strike perfectly choreographed by millions of years of evolution. The colossal squid exists at the apex of the Antarctic deep, yet even it is not invincible. Its only regular predator is the sperm whale, a creature that uses sound instead of sight to hunt, illuminating the dark abyss with sonar in a deadly game of cat and mouse. In this silent, frozen kingdom, the colossal squid is both hunter and hunted, a ghostly monarch whose power is matched only by the cunning of its mortal rival. Here, in the eternal dark beneath the Antarctic seas, the colossal squid reigns, a living testament to the alien and extreme perfection of this frozen world. It is a creature of myth made real, a nightmare of power and precision, an apex predator designed for a kingdom of darkness, cold, and extraordinary survival. In the perpetual darkness of the Antarctic abyss, the colossal squid moves with a calm, almost ghostly patience. Here, light is scarce, and sound and motion define the rhythm of survival. For this apex predator, every movement is a calculated act, every strike honed by millions of years of evolution. Hunting in these extreme depths requires more than raw power. It demands stealth, precision, and a mastery of anatomy that borders on the alien. The colossal squid is a paradox of power and subtlety. Its short, muscular mantle allows for silent propulsion through the near-freezing waters. Unlike the fleet-footed giants of the warm oceans, it does not rely on bursts of speed alone. Instead, it glides, nearly motionless, a shadow against the black water, conserving energy for the precise moment of attack. Its skin, soft and pale, absorbs the faintest bioluminescent glow, rendering it nearly invisible against the dim starlight of deep-sea life. Its 8 robust arms and 2 elongated feeding tentacles are the instruments of predation. Each arm is armed with swiveling, razor-sharp hooks, designed to grip, pierce, and immobilize struggling prey. The tentacles, longer and more flexible, are the striking mechanism, launching forward like living spears to snare distant victims. Once contact is made, the prey is drawn inwards toward the arms, where it becomes trapped in a deadly embrace, unable to escape the overlapping, hook-lined limbs. Every strike is a combination of speed and force, guided by the squid's massive basketball-sized eyes, which detect the faintest bioluminescent signatures of moving prey. The colossal squid's strategy is patience first, power second. It drifts within the subtle currents of the deep, waiting for a disturbance, the ripple of a toothfish through the water, the faint glow of a smaller squid fleeing in terror. Its massive eyes track the target, calculate, ting distance and trajectory with astonishing accuracy. Then, with almost imperceptible acceleration, the tentacles strike, hooks dig deep, and the prey is secured. The central beak delivers the final fatal slice, a precision tool that completes the hunt with terrifying efficiency. Even in this extreme environment, the colossal squid must balance energy expenditure with gain. Hunting is not a reckless endeavor. Each action is measured against the immense metabolic cost of moving through dense, freezing water. The squid's body, optimized for strength rather than speed, ensures that each capture yields maximum nutrition, sustaining the predator in a world where food is abundant, yet the margins for error are small. In the endless blackness, the colossal squid exemplifies a brutal elegance. Its hunting strategy is a symphony of evolution, stealth, patience, mechanical power, and sensory precision, all orchestrated to survive in the extreme and isolated world of the Antarctic deep. Here, in a realm humans barely comprehend, the squid reigns supreme, not merely by size or strength, but by the exquisite artistry of its predatory mastery. In the utter darkness of the Antarctic abyss, vision, as we understand it, becomes almost meaningless. Yet the colossal squid has evolved an eye of almost mythical proportions, a single living organ the size of a basketball, unparalleled in the history of life on Earth. This is no ordinary eye. It is a finely tuned instrument of survival, a telescope designed to pierce the faint, ghostly bioluminescence that flickers like distant stars in the black ocean. Suspended in freezing waters, hundreds of meters below the surface, the squid's eye is a marvel of evolutionary engineering. Its enormous lens gathers every stray photon, every fleeting glimmer, amplifying it across a retina dense with light-sensitive cells. In this abyssal kingdom, the eye functions as a light bucket, siphoning in the faint glow emitted by microscopic plankton, startled prey, or distant predators. Every faint flicker of blue or green illuminates the path, revealing the silhouettes of potential food or hidden danger. But the colossal squid's vision is not merely passive. It interprets subtle movements, traces of bioluminescent trails left by fleeing fish or squid, and the shifting shadows of larger predators passing silently overhead. The eye's immense size is matched by precision. Its retina is capable of resolving shapes and movement across tens of meters of pitch-black water. In a world where stealth defines life and death, this extraordinary organ allows the squid to anticipate and intercept prey with surgical accuracy. The eye's immense power comes at a cost. Maintaining such a complex organ in near-freezing waters requires enormous metabolic energy. Yet the environment has provided both the challenge and the reward. The Antarctic deep is teeming with potential prey. Krill, smaller squid, and deep-sea fish all drift through the faint, shimmering glow of their own bioluminescence. To the colossal squid, every photon is a clue, every glimmer a signal of life waiting to be captured. This eye is not simply a hunting tool. It is a window into the hidden universe of the abyss. It reveals a galaxy of living lights, illuminating the dynamic choreography of life in the depths. Predators and prey alike emit flashes of chemical brilliance, and through the squid's gaze, these flashes are transformed into a three-dimensional map, guiding the lethal strike of its hooks and tentacles. The eye, in its size and sensitivity, defines the squid's dominion in this alien world. In the darkness, the colossal squid's basketball-sized eye embodies the exquisite balance of form and function, evolution and necessity. It is a testament to life's relentless ingenuity, a marvel that transforms absolute darkness into a realm of subtle illumination. Here, in the silent, frigid depths of the Antarctic, vision becomes power, and the giant eye of the colossal squid sees all that moves in its shadowed empire. Far beneath the shimmering surface of the Antarctic waters, where sunlight has long since vanished, the ocean is not truly dark. In the endless blackness of the deep, life has invented its own light, a subtle, ethereal glow that flickers and pulses like a hidden constellation. This is the mysterious realm of deep-sea bioluminescence, where countless organisms have evolved the ability to generate their own illumination, a faint chemical fire that shapes the very fabric of survival. In these cold, pressurized depths, light is a currency of life and death. Tiny bacteria and plankton emit faint glimmers, creating ephemeral constellations in the Black Sea. Fish, shrimp, and squid harness this light to hide, to attract mates, or to lure unsuspecting prey. Some creatures flash brilliant bursts when startled, startling predators or confusing pursuers. Others are stealthy lanterns, guiding hunters through the darkness with glimmers that betray the movement of their prey. In this alien world, light is both a weapon and a shield, a language of survival written in photons. The colossal squid, with its immense basketball-sized eyes, is a master interpreter of this hidden light. Its gaze can detect the subtle bioluminescent trail of a swimming fish, the faint shimmer of krill, or the sudden flare of a startled smaller squid. To its prey, these lights may seem like nothing more than distant sparks in the cold abyss, but for the predator, they are a map, a guide leading to the very heart of life in the deep. Every flash is an opportunity, every flicker a hint of motion that can mean the difference between a successful hunt and starvation. Bioluminescence also serves the prey, however. Many deep-sea creatures have evolved intricate countermeasures, producing their own glows to confuse predators, mimicking the light patterns of larger organisms, or creating sudden bursts that mask their escape. The ocean floor is a theater of light and shadow, a constant dynamic interplay between hunter and hunted. In this strange chemical glow, evolutionary strategies are played out in flashes too brief for human eyes, yet profound in their effect. This quiet illumination transforms the abyss into a living, breathing mosaic of movement and survival. It is not sunlight. It is life's own invention, a testimony to adaptation under extreme pressure, in a place where energy is scarce and danger is constant. The Antarctic deep is a galaxy of glowing life, each flicker a signal, each pulse a story of existence. Predators like the colossal squid, hunters of unparalleled precision, rely on this subtle luminescence, interpreting the faintest cues to navigate the darkness and secure their survival. In the deep, where silence is absolute and cold is relentless, bioluminescence is both a guide and a language. It is the hidden rhythm of the abyss, a fragile, flickering heartbeat that illuminates the eternal dance of predator and prey, shaping the lives of all that move within the Antarctic's profound, sunless waters. In the inky blackness of the Antarctic deep, where colossal squid glide silently through icy waters, an even greater predator lurks, the sperm whale. Towering giants of the ocean, they descend hundreds, sometimes over 1,000 meters, into the crushing darkness, seeking the elusive titans of the deep. These are not mindless hunters. Each dive is a calculated strategy, a display of astonishing intelligence honed over millions of years. Sperm whales rely on sonar, a sophisticated biological radar, to navigate and detect prey in the total darkness. Short bursts of clicks, reverberating through the frigid water, bounce off objects large and small. To the human ear, it is an eerie rhythm, but to the whale, it paints a detailed portrait of its surroundings. The colossal squid, despite its massive size and powerful arms, cannot easily hide. Each movement, each subtle reflection of bioluminescent light, betrays its position. For the sperm whale, this combination of sonar perception and memory is lethal, a methodical dance of hunter and hunted played out in the abyss. But sonar alone is not enough. These whales exhibit a cognitive sophistication rare in the animal kingdom. They can adjust their strategy, dive silently for extended periods, or change direction to intercept their agile prey. Some researchers suggest that older, more experienced whales teach younger generations the art of deep-sea hunting, passing down knowledge that no instinct alone could provide. Every encounter with a colossal squid is a test of patience, precision, and adaptation, a high-stakes duel in a world where error can mean hunger or death. The battle between sperm whale and squid is not merely a confrontation of strength, but a contest of senses. The squid, armed with hooks and bioluminescent countermeasures, twists and lashes with astonishing speed, trying to escape the whale's clutches. Yet too late. He whale's sonar-guided attacks, combined with powerful muscular movements, allow it to lock onto its quarry, sometimes gripping and incapacitating the squid in one decisive strike. The deep resonates with the silent struggle of two titans, a timeless clash hidden from human eyes, unfolding in a realm where pressure is immense and temperature near freezing. These encounters highlight the delicate balance of life in the Antarctic abyss. The colossal squid, apex predator of its domain, meets its rival, the sperm whale, whose intelligence, endurance, and sonar mastery redefine predation. Each dive, each hunt, illustrates the extraordinary adaptations necessary for survival in this extreme environment. The interplay of predator and prey, of strategy and instinct, shapes not only individual survival, but the rhythm of the entire ecosystem, where the outcomes of these underwater duels echo across the Antarctic food web. In the profound darkness of the Southern Ocean, the sperm whale reigns as a masterful, relentless predator. Against the colossal squid, it embodies intelligence as power, patience as might, and sonar as a weapon, a true apex rival in a world where life must innovate, adapt, and endure to survive. Beneath the ice-laden waves of the Antarctic, in the crushing darkness of the abyss, a timeless struggle unfolds. It is a battle unseen by human eyes, waged in a realm of near-freezing waters and eternal night, where colossal squid and sperm whales play out an ancient drama of survival. This is not a momentary skirmish, but an ongoing war that has persisted for millennia, a duel dictated by the delicate balance of life in one of the most extreme environments on Earth. The colossal squid, a phantom of the deep, glides silently through the inky waters. Its massive eyes, capable of detecting the faintest flicker of bioluminescence, scan for prey and predators alike. Every tentacle, lined with formidable hooks, is poised for both offense and defense. Yet lurking in the darkness is its adversary. The sperm whale, a creature of immense size and unparalleled intelligence. With echolocation clicks piercing the silent abyss, the whale maps the underwater landscape, detecting the squid's every movement. This is not merely a hunt. It is a cerebral contest, a clash of perception, strategy, and raw power. Encounters are rare, but when they occur, they are violent, almost ritualistic. The squid lashes with astonishing speed, wrapping its hooked tentacles in defensive arcs. The whale, agile despite its enormous bulk, counters with precise thrusts and calculated movements, striking with the full force of its muscular body. In this frozen arena, victory is fleeting. Even a slight miscalculation can tip the balance, granting the other a momentary advantage. Yet, for every battle waged, neither side truly vanquishes the other. The war is eternal, sustained by the rhythms of the ecosystem and the relentless drive to survive. This ongoing struggle is more than predator versus prey. It is the engine that powers the deep Antarctic ecosystem. The squid hunts smaller organisms, feeding the current. Complex food web, while the whale ensures that only the strongest survive, maintaining ecological equilibrium. Each encounter leaves traces, scars, broken arms, and the subtle shaping of behavior, echoing through generations of both species. The abyss is a classroom where evolution teaches resilience, adaptability, and cunning in the harshest conditions imaginable. Amid the oppressive darkness, the silent war continues, unseen but critical. It is a reminder of life's persistence and ingenuity, of how even the most extreme environments foster complexity, conflict, and cooperation. The eternal battle between squid and whale embodies the raw beauty and unforgiving nature of the deep sea, a place where survival demands perfection, where intelligence meets instinct, and where every encounter is both a test and a testament to life itself. In this hidden world, the war never ends. It is eternal, silent, and sublime, a relentless duel that shapes the lives of creatures in the Antarctic abyss, a narrative written in darkness, strength, and the unyielding will to endure. For over 30 million years, the Antarctic has been a world apart, a frozen sanctuary where evolution has followed its own secretive path. Encased in ice and surrounded by frigid waters, the continent's marine life exists within a natural fortress, an oceanic barrier of cold currents and treacherous seas that shields it from the temperate world beyond. Here, in this remote expanse, life has persisted and transformed, undisturbed by the upheavals that reshaped ecosystems elsewhere. It is a realm where isolation became a crucible of adaptation, and time itself seemed to slow. Beneath the icy surface, the Antarctic seas reveal creatures that defy expectation. Fish without hemoglobin glide silently through oxygen-saturated waters, their translucent bodies ghostly against the muted light. Ancient invertebrates, relics of a distant past, cling to the sea floor, their fragile forms enduring the slow, patient march of millennia. In this frozen crucible, evolution has experimented, crafting species that are singular, extraordinary, and exquisitely attuned to the cold. Survival here is not about speed or aggression alone. It is about resilience, precision, and an intimate relationship with a hostile environment. The Antarctic's isolation is more than physical. It is ecological and evolutionary. For tens of millions of years, global warming events, shifting continents, and mass extinctions swept the rest of the world. Yet here, life continued in quiet stability. The region's creatures evolved in a bubble, free from outside competition, yet perfectly shaped by their icy domain. Cold waters encourage gigantism among some species, slow growth in others, and remarkable biochemical innovations, antifreeze proteins, extraordinary circulatory adaptations, and metabolic strategies that would seem impossible in warmer seas. Each adaptation tells a story of patience, a testament to the power of isolation in shaping life. Even the ocean itself acted as a guardian. Powerful Antarctic currents circled the continent, forming a thermal barrier that limited the movement of predators and invasive species. Ice sheets above created a dim, filtered light environment, influencing behavior and reproduction. This fortress of nature fostered the rise of ecosystems as delicate as they were enduring, a living museum of evolutionary experimentation. Every coral, sponge, and krill swarm carries the imprint of this enduring seclusion, a whisper from an epoch when Antarctica was both a cradle and a refuge for life. In the quiet depths, one senses the profound significance of this isolation. Here, time stretches, unbroken by the chaos of the wider world. Life thrives not in haste, but with measured precision, demonstrating resilience against the relentless extremes of cold, darkness, and scarcity. Antarctica's ancient isolation is a story of patience and ingenuity, a narrative written not in chapters of conquest, but in millennia of survival. It reminds us that sometimes the greatest innovations arise not from abundance, but from enduring, adapting, and thriving in solitude. Beneath the shadowed waves of Antarctica, where sunlight never penetrates and pressure rises with every meter of depth, lies a world both alien and mesmerizing. The seafloor is home to creatures that seem almost sculpted from another age. Giants in their own right, armored, skeletal, and slow-moving, yet perfectly adapted to life in the crushing cold. Here, survival is a delicate balance of energy conservation and patient endurance, a rhythm dictated by the scarcity and quiet majesty of the abyss. Among the most striking inhabitants are the colossal isopods, crustacean behemoths that evoke images of prehistoric arthropods. Their segmented, armored bodies glint faintly under the rare bioluminescent flickers, each plate a shield against predators and the relentless pressure of the deep. Moving with deliberate grace, they scavenge the ocean floor for fallen organic matter, recycling nutrients in a world where food is a precious commodity. Every movement is purposeful, every moment a testament to evolution's careful crafting in this isolated realm. Skeletal sea spiders, long-legged and ghostly, traverse the soft sediments like living skeletons. Their bodies, almost entirely spindly appendages, belie a resilience that allows them to survive in the extreme cold and oxygen-rich waters of the Antarctic abyss. Each delicate limb reaches out with calculated precision, hunting microscopic prey that drifts past in the current. Their slow, haunting motions create a ballet of survival, an eerie choreography dictated by the rhythms of this frozen underworld. The deep-sea giants are not merely relics. They are masters of endurance, perfectly adapted to the relentless isolation of the Antarctic ocean floor. Even slow-moving creatures dominate their niches, their size and fortitude an advantage in a place where energy must be conserved. In this realm, gigantism is a strategy, a nature, all response to cold, oxygen-saturated waters, allowing animals to store energy and withstand periods of scarcity. The giants of the seafloor embody patience, longevity, and the quiet, persistent power of life evolved in extreme conditions. Yet, life here is not static. Fragile sponges form glass-like forests, rising from the seabed like frozen cathedrals, providing shelter and hunting grounds for these deep-sea titans. Each interaction, predator, prey, scavenger, is a slow-motion dance, unfolding over days or weeks, a testament to the endurance required in an ecosystem that moves at the pace of ice itself. Here, nothing is hurried, yet everything is perfectly aligned with the harsh, unyielding rules of survival. The Antarctic seafloor reminds us that life does not need warmth or light to flourish. It thrives in extremes, evolving into forms both alien and magnificent. Giants armored against pressure, skeleton-like hunters moving with eerie precision, and patient scavengers drifting through ancient waters. Each is a chapter in the story of life's ingenuity. In the quiet, crushing darkness of the deep, these ancient titans endure, offering a glimpse of a world where evolution speaks in the language of patience, adaptation, and quiet power. Beneath the frozen expanse of Antarctica, the waters hold a secret that has shaped life in extraordinary ways. Here, in the sub-zero, oxygen-saturated depths, the rules of growth are rewritten. Creatures emerge far larger than their counterparts in temperate seas. Their immense sizes are testament to the unique physics and chemistry of the Antarctic oceans. This phenomenon, known as cold water gigantism, is not merely a quirk of biology. It is a strategy, an evolutionary adaptation to an environment of extreme cold and abundant oxygen. The Antarctic waters are heavy with life-sustaining oxygen, a gift of the frigid temperatures that allow the gas to dissolve and saturate the ocean. In these icy depths, even sluggish metabolisms can thrive, fueling the growth of massive arthropods, mollusks, and deep-sea fish. Giant isopods crawl across the seabed, some as large as a human torso, their slow but deliberate movements demonstrating the quiet power granted by their cold, oxygen-rich surroundings. Each exoskeleton, each joint, is a marvel of adaptation, designed to withstand pressure and sustain life for decades, if not centuries. In this frozen world, gigantism is not limited to crustaceans. Sea spiders, colossal jellyfish, and deep-sea squid grow to astonishing sizes, their expansive bodies moving languidly through the dense, viscous waters. The colossal squid, with its massive tentacles and enormous eyes, is perhaps the most dramatic example, perfectly adapted to pursue prey in the perpetual twilight of the abyss. Every aspect of its physiology, from the sheer scale of its musculature to the efficiency of its energy storage, is a product of cold water gigantism. But gigantism is not merely about size, it is about survival. In a place where food is scarce and energy must be conserved, Being large offers an advantage. Massive bodies store energy, resist predation, and allow for prolonged periods of fasting. Growth is slow, but the payoff is enormous, literally and figuratively. These creatures live on a timescale that feels almost eternal to human observers, moving with a patience dictated by the rhythm of the cold, deep seas. Even the smallest animals benefit from the cold. Oxygen-rich waters support metabolism in ways impossible in warmer oceans, allowing species to thrive and grow in forms their temperate relatives could never achieve. Every organism, from the tiniest amphipod to the leviathan squid, participates in a grand experiment of nature, where the cold itself becomes a catalyst for gigantism. The Antarctic abyss is a kingdom of giants, a place where life defies conventional expectations and grows to awe-inspiring proportions. Here, size is survival, evolution is patient, and the frozen waters sculpt life into forms both magnificent and alien. Cold water gigantism is nature's testament to the extraordinary power of extremes, a reminder that in the depths of Antarctica, life not only endures, it thrives on a scale few could imagine. In the silent depths of Antarctica, a delicate world unfolds, unseen by most and untouched by time. Here, the seafloor is adorned with ghostly towers of glass, the ancient sponges that form the foundations of one of the most fragile ecosystems on Earth. These glass sponges, some standing as tall as a human, are not mere organisms. They are architects of underwater forests, intricate latticeworks of silica that shimmer faintly in the filtered light of the abyss. Every fragile branch, every crystalline arm, is a home, a nursery, a lifeline for countless other creatures. The glass forests rise from the ocean floor, slow-growing sentinels that have endured for millions of years. Their skeletons, composed of silica spicules, are both beautiful and brittle. In these towers, tiny invertebrates find refuge, juvenile fish find shelter, and microorganisms cling to the intricate surfaces, forming a microcosm of life dependent on the sponge's fragile architecture. Every current, every swirl of cold Antarctic water nourishes this ecosystem, carrying essential nutrients that sustain the delicate balance of life. Yet this beauty is deceptive. The same waters that nourish the sponges also harbor predators and intruders that threaten their existence. King crabs, once confined to warmer seas, have begun to encroach upon these pristine habitats, their powerful claws capable of crushing the glass towers with ease. A single predator's touch can shatter centuries of growth, reducing the sponges to rubble and destroying the countless species that rely on them. The fragility of the glass forests is a stark reminder of how vulnerable even the most ancient ecosystems can be when exposed to change. Life here is a study in contrasts. It is both resilient and delicate, enduring and ephemeral. The glass sponges grow slowly, their lifespans spanning centuries, yet they are at the mercy of forces far beyond their control. Currents, predators, and environmental shifts all threaten the careful balance of this underwater world. And yet, despite this fragility, the glass forests persist, a testament to the persistence of life in the harshest of conditions. For scientists who explore these depths, the glass forests are not just a subject of study. They are a symbol of nature's ingenuity and vulnerability. Each spicule tells a story of adaptation, survival, and the quiet persistence of life in a world frozen in time. These delicate ecosystems remind us that even in the coldest, darkest reaches of our planet, life can flourish, but only if it is left undisturbed, allowed to grow at its own slow, deliberate pace. The fragile glass forests of Antarctica are a silent wonder, suspended between eternity and destruction. Their ethereal beauty, their delicate complexity, and their vulnerability offer a lesson for the human world. That the most extraordinary ecosystems, even in isolation, require protection, respect, and awe. In the quiet glow of the abyss, the glass forests stand as monuments to both the fragility and resilience of life beneath the ice. For millions of years, the Antarctic seafloor was a sanctuary of isolation, its ecosystems shaped by cold, darkness, and the slow rhythm of life beneath the ice. But change has begun to creep silently across these ancient depths. As the planet warms and the icy waters retreat, a new presence emerges from the deep. The king crab, a formidable predator once confined to warmer seas. With massive armored claws and a voracious appetite, these crabs are unlike anything the Antarctic seafloor has ever faced. King crabs are the embodiment of disruption. They are efficient hunters, capable of tearing apart delicate ecosystems with swift, crushing force. The fragile glass sponges, ancient architects of the seafloor, are no match for the crab's powerful pincers. Entire underwater forests, centuries in the making, can be destroyed in hours, their intricate latticeworks reduced to rubble. Every sponge felled represents countless lives displaced. Juvenile fish lose shelter, invertebrates lose their nurseries, and the subtle balance that has endured for millions of years teeters on the edge of collapse. These invaders move steadily across the seafloor, their armored bodies an unstoppable force in waters that have grown warmer than they were meant to be. For the creatures of Antarctica, evolution prepared them for sub-zero extremes, not for predators of this magnitude. The arrival of king crabs is more than a threat. It is a profound upheaval of life itself. Predators that once thrived only in warmer oceans now exploit a vulnerability, reshaping an ecosystem that has survived isolation and ice for millennia. Scientists observing these intrusions are witnessing a dramatic transformation. What was once a slow, stable, and ancient ecosystem is now in flux, threatened by the relentless advance of a single species. The king crab's presence highlights the fragile relationship between tempest, rapture, habitat, and survival. In a world warmed even slightly, balance can tip, allowing invaders to dominate where native species are unprepared to resist. Yet amid this unfolding crisis, there is a lesson to be learned. The king crabs are not villains. They are agents of change, responding to conditions humans have altered. Their invasion is a signal of a warming ocean, a warning of the cascading effects climate change can unleash on even the most remote and seemingly untouchable environments. The Antarctic seafloor, once insulated by ice and cold, now becomes a living laboratory, showing how ecosystems respond when their protective barriers are removed. The arrival of king crabs is a reminder that even the most enduring worlds are vulnerable. Life that has persisted undisturbed for millions of years is now facing a predator it never evolved to combat. In the icy depths, the slow march of change continues, reshaping the ocean floor, testing the resilience of ancient life, and underscoring the delicate balance that exists between climate, species, and survival. The modern invaders of Antarctica reveal a truth both sobering and profound. Even the oldest, most isolated ecosystems are not immune to the forces of a warming world. And in the silent depths, the battle between invader and native life begins, echoing a lesson for all of Earth's fragile, interconnected realms. For 30 million years, Antarctica's icy waters and shadowed depths have nurtured an ecosystem unlike any other on Earth. A world of slow rhythms, fragile balance, and ancient adaptation, untouched by the disturbances that have reshaped so many other regions. But now, the ice that has long acted as both shield and sustainer is retreating, and the consequences are profound. Rising temperatures and melting glaciers are no longer distant predictions. They are realities reshaping the frozen continent and the life it harbors. The Antarctic environment is exquisitely sensitive. Every species, from the tiniest algae to the colossal whales, relies on precise conditions. Seasonal ice cover, nutrient-rich waters, and sub-zero temperatures form a delicate network that has evolved over millions of years. As ice sheets melt and sea temperatures rise, this network begins to unravel. Algae that bloom under carefully timed cycles now face unpredictable sunlight and warmer waters. Krill populations, the very heart of Antarctic food webs, encounter altered breeding and feeding patterns, threatening the survival of whales, seals, and countless other species that depend on them. The impacts are not subtle. Deep-sea habitats, once protected by cold, stable conditions, now experience shifts in oxygen levels, salinity, and nutrient flow. Ancient glass sponge forests, relics of a time when life moved at a glacial pace, face the onslaught of invasive species like king crabs, emboldened by warmer waters. Even creatures evolved to survive extreme cold, like the bloodless icefish, may find themselves pushed to the limits of adaptation as their icy world transforms. Scientists studying these changes are documenting an ecological upheaval unfolding in real time. Satellite images capture the shrinking ice shelves, while underwater cameras reveal forests of sponges collapsing under invasive predator. Oceanographers note subtle shifts in currents and temperatures, the first ripples of climate change penetrating the depths. The Antarctic is no longer a remote, untouched sanctuary. It is a microcosm of global environmental shifts, a warning etched in ice and water. Yet amid this crisis lies insight. The Antarctic ecosystem demonstrates the resilience of life even under extreme conditions. It also highlights the vulnerability of systems that have evolved in isolation. When a stable environment changes too rapidly, even species adapted over millions of years can face collapse. The story of Antarctica is a cautionary tale. Climate change is not just a distant threat, but a tangible force with cascading effects on the most ancient, carefully balanced ecosystems on our planet. The melting ice, the rising seas, and the warming waters serve as both a signal and a mirror. Antarctica's fragile world reflects the broader vulnerability of life on Earth, showing how interconnected, delicate, and dependent on stability all ecosystems truly are. In the silent, shifting waters of the southernmost continent, the warning is clear. Change, once set in motion, can ripple across millennia of evolution, testing the resilience of life itself. Beneath Antarctica's vast frozen expanse lies a world that has endured in silence for millions of years. A world where life moves slowly, measured not in days or seasons but in centuries. Fragile forests of glass sponges sway in near-still waters, and skeletal sea spiders crawl across the ocean floor with deliberate precision. This ancient garden has existed largely untouched, a sanctuary where evolution has quietly sculpted organisms uniquely adapted to the cold, dark depths. But now, change is arriving, carried by currents warmer than any seen in modern memory. For millennia, these ecosystems have known only the rhythms of ice, the subtle dance of nutrient-rich waters, and the ancient pulse of survival. Creatures of the deep, armored and adapted, thrived in isolation, their slow existence shielded by the extreme cold. The ice acted as both protector and barrier, keeping modern predators at bay, preserving the delicate balance of this underwater sanctuary. Today, however, that barrier is eroding. Warming seas have allowed unexpected invaders, predators like king crabs, once confined to northern waters, to encroach upon this hidden garden. Their arrival is disruptive, rapid, and devastating. The king crabs, with their powerful pincers and insatiable appetite, are reshaping the seafloor. Ancient glass sponges, some older than the Roman Empire, are being shredded, their fragile forms unable to withstand these modern threats. Slow-moving inhabitants, accustomed to millions of years of undisturbed life, now face unprecedented danger. The Antarctic's most ancient ecosystems are being tested, and the rules of survival are being rewritten in real time. Scientists exploring these depths witness scenes both awe-inspiring and alarming. Long-lived organisms, frozen in evolutionary time, are suddenly exposed to the pressures of change. The very concept of a stable ecosystem, a natural order that persisted for tens of millions of years, is being challenged by the relentless advance of temperature and predator alike. Every encounter, every predation event, echoes the fragility of life that has flourished under precise conditions for eons. Yet amid this upheaval, the ancient garden retains a quiet resilience. Some species adapt in surprising ways, finding refuge in niches once thought inhospitable. Life, even in the harshest of places, persists, bending in response to the forces that threaten it. But the presence of new predators signals a shift, a turning point where humanity's broader influence on climate indirectly reshapes the oldest, slowest-moving life on Earth. The last ancient garden is more than a relic. It is a living testament to endurance, a delicate archive of evolutionary history, and a warning. Its struggle under the intrusion of modern predators mirrors the vulnerability of life across the globe. In these silent, shadowed waters, we glimpse the cost of environmental upheaval. The collision of the ancient and the modern, the fragile and the relentless, the slow dance of life now accelerated by forces beyond its control. Antarctica's last ancient garden stands at a crossroads, holding lessons for both survival and stewardship in a warming world. Antarctica, the southernmost frontier of our planet, remains one of Earth's most enigmatic realms. Beneath its immense ice sheets, and through its frigid waters, lies an ecosystem sculpted by time, where life has learned to move slowly, survive patiently, and endure the harshest extremes imaginable. Here, the ordinary measures of vitality, speed, aggression, and abundance are replaced by endurance, subtlety, and remarkable adaptation. The frozen giants of this realm, from colossal squids and massive whales to the tiniest swarms of krill, reveal a lesson in balance. Life can flourish, even in near-impossible conditions, when given stability and respect. In these sub-zero waters, energy is conserved and time stretches differently. Organisms have evolved to grow larger, live longer, and survive on rhythms dictated by ice and seasons, rather than by predation alone. The slow, deliberate life of the Antarctic seafloor tells a story of evolutionary patience, a narrative written over millions of years. Fragile glass sponges rise like silent sentinels. Icefish glide ghost-like beneath the surface. Krill, though minuscule, form the foundation of entire food webs. Each species is a testament to how the environment shapes life in profound and sometimes beautiful ways. Yet even this frozen sanctuary is not immune to change. The warming of Antarctic waters, subtle yet relentless, threatens the delicate equilibrium that has persisted for 30 million years. King crabs encroach on deep-sea gardens, melting ice releases unprecedented volumes of fresh water, and the timing of plankton blooms begins to shift. Each ripple in the ecosystem carries consequences, cascading through food webs and altering ancient patterns of survival. The frozen giants, long accustomed to constancy, now face a world moving faster than evolution can accommodate. These changes are a mirror for humanity. The lessons of Antarctica extend beyond its ice-covered shores. They remind us that stability is fragile, that ecosystems are intricately connected, and that even the mightiest creatures are vulnerable to environmental upheaval. In witnessing the slow, majestic life of the southern oceans, we gain insight into the quiet, patient rhythms that sustain life and the heavy cost of disrupting them. Yet, there is hope. The Antarctic story also inspires stewardship. By understanding the vulnerabilities of this extreme ecosystem, by witnessing both its beauty and its fragility, we are called to act, to temper our impact, to respect natural rhythms, and to preserve the slow dance of life wherever it persists. The frozen giants endure not merely as curiosities of science, but as guardians of ecological wisdom, reminding us of the elegance of slow life and the consequences of a warming world. In the end, Antarctica teaches patience, resilience, and reverence. It is a living archive of Earth's evolutionary artistry, and a warning of what may be lost when the forces of climate shift too rapidly. The frozen giants stand as teachers in silence, and through their survival, or their vulnerability, we glimpse the profound lessons of life itself. As the icy winds sweep across Antarctica, we leave behind a world both fragile and fierce, a realm where survival is a daily triumph and where life takes extraordinary forms. From the tiniest algae fueling the ocean's web of life to colossal whales and ghostly ice fish, Antarctica teaches us the beauty of adaptation and the power of patience. Yet this frozen sanctuary is not untouched. Climate change and new predators are reshaping ecosystems that have remained stable for millions of years. The lessons of these frozen giants are clear. The balance of life is delicate, and every change ripples through the wee bee of existence. By witnessing their struggles and triumphs, we gain a deeper understanding of resilience and the responsibility we share in protecting our planet. Like, share and subscribe to Mysteries of Earth, and continue exploring the astonishing hidden wonders of our world.